Plants vs. Zombies, or PVZ, is well regarded as a classic game that anyone of any age can pick up and play, thanks to its simple on the surface game mechanics, general replayability, and its various minigames. As a tower defense game, there is of course a money system with which you must work with in order to correctly survive each level. Herein lies the most seemingly minuscule part of the original game. The amount of sun that you got, either getting it from the sky or sunflowers, was 25, keeping the game at a relatively slow pace, allowing you to perfectly plan and think about your next move. This small little detail is another big part as to why the first game is so good, as it also keeps the worthfulness in most plants to a reasonable degree, except cactus, as cactus is a worthless piece of garbage that should be burned or cost 100 sun instead of 125. Like what? Just to pop a balloon? Seriously? I could just use blowgun or something. But seriously, the 25 sun meta of the first game is amazing. And the 50 sun meta created by the twin flower transformation or upgrade absolutely breaks sun production speed. Because it was already good if you have like 3 rows of sunflowers, and it breaks it as soon as you're available to get it. And if the 50 sun meta is so broken in the first place, they need to make it behind a freaking in-game currency wall and a transformation that takes another seed packet, then what would happen if 50 sun was the standard? Every sun that you got was 50. Enter PVZ2. Although it's an incredibly well-made game that succeeds as a sequel due to its multitude of worlds, different game mechanics, improved replayability, and its addition of a bunch of new plants that all do different new things, some objectively better than others. Talking to you, Spring Bean! There's just one change that you'd notice as soon as you start a new world. Each piece of sun in the game now gives you 50 sun instead of the standard 25 at the same rate, automatically turning the very balanced 25 sun meta into a 50 sun meta. And the effects that this has on the game might seem minor, but today I wanted to convince you with a short video that the sun amount that you get from the base PVZ2 game should have been lessened at the start for a few reasons. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, as I intend to start making videos again. Although, due to the fact that I'm working on a series, my main production will be a little bit slow. I'm working on reviewing a book though, so yeah, at least subscribe for that. Anyway, back to the video. Thanks to the maniacs at PopCap who decided that an increase of sun value was a necessary decision, the speed of how you play the game is totally different. It doesn't matter how many cool challenges there are per level, or what plants you're forced to use, because the speed of each level has been increased in order to accompany the speed of the sun production you get. Or, I mean, the levels are shorter. Although I usually do play on 2x speed, I did stop doing that, especially for this video. And even then, the speed of these levels, or the shortness of the levels, is very, very different from the first game. What this does is give you the feeling of, wow, that was just getting good, for it to end anticlimactically and then you get Spring Bean. Whose idea was this? This also makes it less satisfying to place down whatever plant you are working towards, since a repeater now takes only 4 pieces of sunlight instead of 8, devaluing each and every one of your plants, pretty much making them expendable if it weren't for cooldown speed. And the only cooldown speed that really hurts is walnut. Compare the sun production speed to Plants vs. Zombies 1, where plants actually mattered, especially in the beginning. Misplacing a few pea shooters, repeaters, or fume shrooms if you're playing at night and you're down bad could be your doom, because plants in that game are worth more, as the amount of sun that you get from sunflowers is again low at 25%. And if you're using one of those mini shrooms or whatever, you get like 15 sun. It's so tragic. But in Plants vs. Zombies 2, if you misplace a repeater, then whatever, right? You probably already have like 6 other sunflowers out. 6 times 50 is 300, so you're all good. Pretty much what I'm saying is that the game, due to the seemingly minuscule change, is way too fast-paced for its own good. And the sun cost of 25 would have made this game's levels paced better. No enemies even need to be changed for this. But Alex, you say, it's not that easy to get a stable sun-producing farm up and ready. And to you, I say, no one has ever said this. If you just use normal or twin sunflower with a potato mine in your roster, then you're guaranteed to have more than enough sun to protect whoever's on the left. Before you say it's the player or Crazy Dave, why the hell would they get out of Dave Van Penny and just stand there as zombies come at them? That doesn't make any sense. And Penny stands on the right. In the first game it makes sense since you are protecting your house, but what really are the zombies walking towards? Okay, I got off track. Back on topic. With resources so easy to acquire so early into the level, less strategy is needed. Even if you do use PVZ2's twin sunflowers, which have a sun cost of 125, potato mine is a big reason for sun production being very easy, but I don't blame his existence. Although he was also great for starting your level in the first game as well, but to a lesser degree because it had a 25 sun meta and a soft 50 sun meta on high levels or infinite rounds. With more sun to your disposal, nearly immediately when you begin the game, You can safely shut off your brain and treat most levels as if it's just a sandbox. I could be wrong, and as you go on, there'll be specific challenges you'll have to use a little brain power for, since I am from a still in progress pirate world perspective, but I can't see when the 50 Sun meta isn't at least a little bit broken and becomes a minor part of the game. Unless you're horrible, or if the level's a specific challenge that says don't make this much sun, you're definitely going to have an overabundance of sun if it's a long level or it's just by the end. Plant worthfulness. I've already detailed how plants feel more worthless unless the plant is irreplaceable in its use, like potato mine, icebergs, lettuce to an extent, if it has a really damn good special ability like kernel pellets in my opinion, or if it has an incredibly special use like grape buster, or there's way less reason to use lower costing plants. As I detailed earlier, it's disgustingly easy to get a high amount of sun quickly, meaning that plants that are worse than high costing ones but cheaper are useless, since why have those when you can get high costing plants out there pretty easily like Snapdragon or Bunkker's behind a walnut. They do try to get around this by having many super specialized plants throughout worlds like this bastard and Grave Buster, but while I understand what they're going for, quicker gameplay with more specialized plants, all it does is make the gameplay feel worse and it makes more plants useless. Conclusion. Though this video's existence was meant to be a joke that I made up because I'm stupid and crazy, I already see how the 50/100 sun meta could be perceived as a problem. And now, after thinking about it after a while and writing the script, I do see it as an actual problem in the game that kind of hinders my enjoyment of it. I genuinely think that the game should be slower paced, kind of like the first game. And the game being slower paced in the first place is really what attracted me to Plants vs Zombies. And it would have been more enjoyable if other small things that make sun production even more overpowered, like plant food and leveling, were balanced. For specifically sun production, since it's already easy enough, we hardly need plant food honestly for sunflowers. Although in general, plant food in this game is already balanced, and leveling is just a mess in itself. Plus already the overabundance of over-specialized or now useless plants like Cabbage Pult, Grave Buster, and the only plant that's useless as soon as you get it. I will make another video about Spring Bean alone, just you wait. But overall, I'm really enjoying this game and I think people should stop capping about EA being horrible to this game. Anyway, seriously, the 50 Sun meta is broken. Subscribe, and subscribe to my main, where I'm working on making a series. Part of the work in progress for it is already out, so go watch that. Yeah, it's public, it's like 48 seconds. But yeah, go watch that. Tell me what you think in the comments, whatever. Goodbye.